Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Six of Vessels and Reunion. And Vessels is all about emotions and water energy, psychic energy. All right, and when I meditated on this card earlier, I looked at the six vessels. They're all lit up with love, and they're already filled. They're not even filled with water. They're filled up with light. All right, and here it's in that pool of water, and there's so much water coming out of that hole in the ground that the trees have been nourished. All right, and this card is all about a reunion. All right, it's about affection and love, and what a great emotion to have with that. Affection and love. What does that mean? To be affectionate towards one, to somebody else, to give them hugs. It's hard to do during this COVID time, right? To give them kisses, whether that's, it's a significant other, children, grandchildren. We've missed that here in the last year, giving that affection and giving that love. Yes, you can give it over the phone, through a video, through Zoom, but there's nothing like the physical touch of affection and love, And, sometimes this card stands for reincarnated love between soulmates. Soulmates that come together. Okay, soulmates that have been apart for years. All right? Maybe they've been apart for past lives and reunited in this lifetime over years. And I'm sure some of you ask me, how do you know, when you met your soulmate? You'll know. Your intuition will tell you. Okay? Meditate on it. Do a deep dive into a past life. All right, look into their eyes. Sit quietly. I've done this a couple times with people, that I'm affectionate with and that I love. Just hold your hands out together, just like that, hand on hand, and sit quietly. If you got glasses on, take your glasses off. Look into their eyes and look into their soul. Just be quiet. Don't say nothing. Don't twitch your hands, like you want to slap it or anything like that game. But just meditate. Meditate together and understand. And that's how you find out, if they're your soulmates or not. Okay, that's just one of the techniques. All right. This could be a karmic reunion with other family members too, right? That brings souls back together. Cousins and aunts and uncles. It could be a karmic reunion spiritually. All right, where you touch base with those that have moved on. All right, and the purpose may be to complete unfinished business, or to teach new lessons. Everybody that you come in contact, there's either a lesson for you to give, or a lesson for them to give to you. All right, and it's fleeting. Those moments are fleeting. I remember doing a past life reading years ago. And I stood across from this guy and I meditated, and him and I were shipmates back in the colonial days. And I told him my experience, and it was only for a moment that we had been together. And he looked at me and he said, "You're nuts." I said, what are you doing here for? He goes, "I'm here because my wife's here." Well, that's not an excuse, still participate with what's going on. All right. But there was a lesson in that, and that taught me, the lesson that taught me is his karmic responsibility was the same back then as it is now. And he was a non-believer. Okay? He didn't believe in it. He was closed off to it, closed off to spirit. And that showed me a lot. That I'm going to meet people like that. That was a good karmic lesson for me. All right? Now, a reunion could also be a get together of comrades and friends, class reunions, let's say. Okay? I know for myself, there's a class reunion every year for all years, at the local bowling alley, bar. And then, they do it, they might do it by decades, sometime in August, sometime in September, they may open it up for the class of 20, 1920 to 1930, and all the way up. And every weekend is going to be different. All right. Usually with my class, I'm going to date myself, in the 80s, there's hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people, because they do it by tens. from 1980 to 1990, people show up and they have a good time. All right, and it could just be, hey, a reunion of getting together with your boss you haven't seen over the course of a couple months. Okay, so reunion can have a different aspect and however you want to look at it. All right. When you do reunite, it's back to your true nature. You come out of your own. You take off that mask. People understand who you are. Okay, and when I was talking about past lives, when we meditate on those past issues, we gain new insight and wisdom. Okay, you can gain new insight and wisdom when you reunite with somebody else. Whether it's been a couple weeks or whether it's been a couple of months or whether it's been a couple of years, things change. People change. Okay, I know I've changed over the last year. I've changed since I started doing this program. All right, and a lot of that change, I thank you guys, because you know what? I'm here to help. I'm here to teach. I'm here to help you on your spiritual path as I'm walking mine. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. All right, but that process of learning new things, gaining that wisdom from others, listening to, reuniting with them to see how their lives change, gives you wisdom and insight. Okay, and you can use that to help clear out, old demons or whatever. Okay, but it's also an aspect of helping you become empowered. All right, it gives us that self-empowerment. And when we're self-empowered, we talked about that yesterday. We are then reassured of the spiritual path that we are on. All right, and I'll bring that card up. Let me put this down. So here you are. Today you're gonna you reunite with somebody. Spiritual, physical, it could be both, right? But that's the journey you've been on. You were empowered yesterday to make that journey, and this is the card that fell off 7 days ago. So here you were empowered 7 days ago to get to this point. All right, and this re-emphasized it. Okay, be empowered, to meet up with old friends. Be empowered to meet new friends and maybe touch base with somebody, in a karmic aspect. All right, just don't use those 6 of stones at exploitation. Don't use those resources. Misuse those resources. Use them wisely. If you are meeting somebody, let's talk about that. Okay, let's say it's been a year since you reconnected with somebody. Okay, don't take advantage of those resources that they have, because they're going to be outpouring love, just as you're going to be outpouring love to them and affection. Okay, but don't take too much. That's where you're not using the resources wisely. You want it to be a give and take between the two of you. Okay. Got lost in my cards. Got the Great Bear out there as well. All right, don't be judgmental on that reunion. Maybe they've done something bad. I got a friend of mine that committed a crime many years ago. When I reunite with him, guess what? I'm not going to be judgmental on him. I'm going to ask him how he's doing and what does he need. Okay, there's some healing going on. Maybe during that reunion there's going to be some healing, just some reconnection, talking about things that, what, I'm sorry this happened years ago. We should have stayed in touch. There's also that 7 of Vessels, that mourning. Maybe that's what's bringing the reunion together. Okay, because that's usually where most reunions happen, is at funerals. Mourning a death of a loved one. Okay, mourning the death of, of a career. Let's say a couple people walked away at the same time. I know where I used to work, they used to have a reunion every year of those that retired and left. Spent there 25, 30 years within the organization. It's a great time to get together and catch up on people, right? Catch up on good times, and talk about, that process of healing. Talk about that process of gaining wisdom and knowledge, all right? And then you've got the Green Man out there as well. He's walking with it. Him and the Great Bear, these major arcana cards, they're always walking with you. That's a life lessons card. He's walking with you on your path. He wants you to be empowered. He wants you to be empowered going into this reunion, to seek out new karmic relationships. All right? All you have to do is open yourself up. So there you have it. That's today's card of the day. That Six of Vessels reunion. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with others. Leave your comments down below. And this is D for the Spirit's Path, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.